Hey, it's Dave from Gravity Wiz. Today I am very excited to give you a speed run of our newest perk, GP Advanced Conditional Logic. Now, I'm assuming that you know what conditional logic is, the functionality that lets you show and hide fields on your form depending on a variety of conditions. You can also use it to show a specific confirmation on submission or send a specific notification or even determine which feeds to process. Now, with that assumption out of the way, let's dig in and see how advanced conditional logic can take your gravity forms conditional logic to a whole new level. So, as I mentioned, this is going to be a speed run. We're going to move fast. I'm not going to go super deep into use cases. And my goal is just to expose you to as much advanced conditional logic functionality as possible. With that said, take a quick look at my eclectic collection of fields, and then we're going to jump straight into our HTML field. We're going to click conditional logic, and then we're going to click enable conditional logic. First thing I want to highlight here is rule groups. So now you can have multiple groups of rules and you can compare them by any or all. So all groups must match or any of the groups must match. Very, very powerful. And within the groups, you can add multiple rules, and these rules can also be matched where all of the rules must match or any of the rules must match. I think you can already understand how many opportunities this opens up. With that said, let's get rid of these extra groups and we're just going to focus on a single group for now, and we're going to talk about field-to-field conditional logic. So let's say that I have a dropdown and I want to see not what field is selected in that or what value is selected in that dropdown, but I want to see if the value in this dropdown matches the value that was selected in another dropdown. So boom, you'll see that in our dropdown, in our select here, there is a fields array and you can select any field on the form to see if those values match. Now, what if you wanted to do this with a non-choice based field? So we'll select our single line text field here, and then you see that we have this open input for the value. And now I get to show you the magic of the magic curly brace. This enables our merge tag selector, which reveals pretty much every field on the form, as well as a host of other merge tags that allow you to target more contextual information, such as the user's IP, the page that the form was embedded on, the form ID, the form title, all sorts of good stuff. In this case, let's just keep it simple and we are going to select a field. There you go. It inserts the merge tag into the field, which also I should point out means that you can combine multiple merge tags here as well. Moving right along, let's talk about the advanced operators that advanced conditional logic adds. First up is does not contain. Worth noting that gravity forms does have contains by default, and does not contain works exactly the opposite. It checks where a value is not present on the form. So something like ABC, or maybe you want to ban Gmail accounts from this. If it contains that, this rule would match. So, or it does not contain it, this rule doesn't match. And then again, depending on how you configure your conditional logic, different outcomes can result. Of course, I do have to add an important side note that if you are checking for email domains, make sure to check out GP Email Validator, also part of Gravity Perks, because it makes this even more powerful. But this is a valid and practical use for does not contain. Moving on, we're going to check the is-in operator. With the is-in operator, you can compare the value in a field to a comma delimited list of values. So in this case, we could say, hey, does this single line text A field value, is it an A, a B, or a C? Awesome. Or imagine this was an address field and we were targeting the zip code input. We could target some actual zip codes here. 23805. To see maybe is this address in our service area. Next is the is similar to. So with the is similar to, let's say that we want to have an urgent flag here. We want to make sure if someone uses the word urgent in their message, we want to do something. So in this case, we could do that, but we also want to note that sometimes humans make mistakes and we want to give them some leniency. So maybe we'll say, hey, if it's anything close to urgent, we want to flag it. In this case, this urgent here. So if they had spelled it something like urgent or urgent, then this would still catch that, and you would be flagged, even though they made obviously an egregious typo here. Lastly, there is the is not similar to, which works the exact opposite of is similar to. And so I'm going to skip right over that for time. All right, now we're going to talk about date fields. So I will select this date field on our form right here. And now we're going to say, hey, is this, let's say May 31st? You notice that handy dandy date picker pops up for you. And now if the selected date matches date 31st, then it will automatically work. Of course, there are some other operators here. You could check if it is not that date, if it is before that date, or if it's after that date. But let's also see what happens if we want to check if it is the current day. So we activate our magic curly brace, and you're going to see there's a whole host of date-specific merge tags available to you through the merge tag selector. So in this case, we're just going to stick with today. Whoops. And now if the selected date is today, then this condition will match and you can do something. Now, if we wanted to do tomorrow, same deal. Yesterday, same deal. Today, next year. That's the beauty of the today merge tag. It's completely flexible. So this could be 3 years, maybe 3 weeks, or even go into the past and say, hey, if this is 3 weeks ago. The world is your oyster here. Now let's jump over to the time field. So with time fields, we can do pretty much the same thing. Is not, is before, or is after, and then you just specify a specific time. So hey, if the time that they entered into the field is before 11 a.m., or excuse me, is 11 a.m., then it would activate. Probably more realistic to do something like is before or is after with the time field. And it lends us directly to the current date and current time special options. So these are useful in situations where, hey, you don't want to add a helper field to the form. You don't want to try to capture the date there. You just want to use the current date in conditional logic. And that's what this does. So we've selected current date, and we're going to check if the current date is maybe a specific date. So if it is the 31st, then we're good. Or maybe it's before the 31st. So there's some sort of cutoff on your form that you want to activate a condition on. That's all possible. Another classic example of the current date is selecting a specific day of the week. So is it a Monday? Is it a Tuesday, a Wednesday? Or you could go down and do Saturday or Sunday. All possible with this. Other options here are the current year, current month, and current day. So let's say if you want to display a special message, for example, on Christmas, rather than writing it in manually like this, which you would have to come in next year and update, you could do the current year date part. And now that's going to update every year. Now, if you want to accept Christmas, if you never want to touch this form again and allow the user to select any date from any point in time, then you might go with something like 12/25 and then the old asterisk wildcard. So that would let them select this in any date in the past and the future. And current time works the same way. It's just based on the current time, and you enter your value there. And so, hey, if the current time is, let's say before 11 a.m., maybe there's a morning special going on, then you can match that condition and your form can react accordingly. All right, moving on to the formula condition. This is a really powerful condition designed to keep your form as simple as possible. So rather than creating a calculation field and then hiding it, you can just set the formula directly in the condition. So in this case, I actually have two number fields on my form, number field 7 and number field 8. So I'm going to go back to my HTML field. I'm going to go to my conditional logic here, and I'm going to say, hey, basically, if the formula is greater than 100, and then I'm going to go into the formula, which automatically, I don't know if you can tell, but it is automatically integrating with our GP Advanced Calculations perk. And so now I can say, if field 7 plus field 8 is greater than our threshold, then this condition would match. Super, super helpful. Again, keeps your forms as tidy as possible because you don't have to create a field to interact with the conditional logic. You'll notice that also same kind of spirit with current date and current time is keeping your forms as simple as possible. And again, this just scratches the surface of what's possible with the formula. It can do a lot. Last, but certainly not least, as far as conditional functionality here is all of the user functionality. So is the user logged in? Yes or no? Very, very handy. Is the user role match administrator, editor, author, contributor, subscriber? Those are all the basic ones, but this will match any role that you have on your site. And then we'll end on this section with a very special one, the user meta conditional. In this case, you can say, hey, basically, is this one? And then the meta key, you specify it like, so, hey, is subscriber one? And if they are a subscriber and they have that meta key in their meta, then that would match. Now imagine that you wanted to just check. Sometimes you may have like a membership ID. Whoops. And your membership ID may have a prefix that starts at the beginning. So actually, let's go with starts with. And I've actually seen this one from Gravity Perks customers. So it starts with Pro, and it will look at this meta ID in their user meta. And if that user meta value matches or starts with Pro, then it would return true for this rule. And you can have your form or your confirmations, your notifications, or your feeds react accordingly. Okay, I know that's a lot. But last thing, the very last thing I just wanted to show you. So again, I want to point out that this, as I just mentioned, this works with confirmations, notifications, and any feed-based add-on. So Google Calendar is a great example of that, but I'm going to keep it in the Gravity Forms house and go with notifications. So we'll leave this form, we'll abandon all of that conditional logic, and we'll add a new notification, and we'll scroll down to the bottom, and then you can see here under conditional logic, click to enable. And there you go, that same UI that we were just interacting with, obviously designed to fit this space as well. And now, again, you can have your rule groups here. You can add multiple rules. You can do all of that fancy stuff that we were just talking about, selecting dates. What else did we do that was really cool? The formula, all of that is available here as well. And this is in any context that supports conditional logic. Okay. How was that for a speed run? What a wild ride. And I'm telling you, I didn't even go that deep into this. Definitely check out the docs. Definitely reach out to our support team and ask questions. I know you're going to have them. And we are super eager to explore this with you. There's so much more we can do, and you're going to help us get it there. So thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to speaking soon.